me. Wait, there's nobody here right now. So yeah, this is the night. We're actually watching. We're actually gonna watch a fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Who would have thunk it was gonna be something like this? I never thought in my wildest dreams this would happen. Never. I still think Anthony Joshua is gonna knock him out in a minute. Um, Anthony Joshua should make short work of Jake Paul, and not saying. And the thing is, it's not hate. It's just that if you follow boxing like I do, if you follow combat sports like I do, there's always levels to this game. I don't see in what world Jake Paul can knock out Anthony Joshua. I don't see in what world can Jake Paul hit Anthony Joshua numerous times. I don't see in which world Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul knocks down Anthony Joshua. This fight that's gonna happen soon is on Netflix right now. The fight's coming up. This is just ridiculous. So the first fight of the night just finished. Jamal won. Now we're gonna watch the second fight of the night. After 1,000 commercials from Netflix, you know, after 1,000 commercials from Netflix, y'all. But my thing is, do you think Jake Paul can look? At the end of the day, this is the reality of it all. This is a win-win for Jake Paul and a lose-lose for Anthony Joshua. I'm gonna say it again. This is a win-win for Jake Paul and a lose-lose because if Anthony Joshua wins, everyone's gonna say you're supposed to win. So what? If he loses, his credibility in boxing is pretty much down the drain. If Jake Paul wins the fight, if Jake Paul loses the fight, everyone's gonna say, hey, no one gave him a chance. So good, it was a good try. If Jake Paul beats Anthony Joshua, it's gonna shoot him up into, I don't know, in boxing, the boxing top for sure. As far as popularity, I just don't think Jake Paul. Even I, I don't want to try Jake Paul like this, but even if Anthony Joshua has his hands down and lets Jake Paul hit him, I don't think Jake Paul can knock him out. I just think this is the best matchup for Jake Paul. But you know what? Netflix supposedly is gonna pay Jake Paul at least $92 million. Same thing for Anthony Joshua. So at the end of the day, I can't blame these two men for getting into the ring. It's an easy fight for Anthony, and it's a big payday for Anthony also, and a big payday for Jake Paul. I just hope Jake Paul doesn't get really hurt in this fight, man, because you know Jake Paul can really get hurt in this fight, y'all. I'm not even exaggerating. Jake Paul can he can really get hurt. Um, Not to mention Anthony Joshua is just way bigger than him and way taller. And I can't stress this enough. This is the toughest fight Jake Paul probably will ever have. Straight up. When Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson was close to 60 years old, and after a round and a half, Mike Tyson stopped swinging. But Jake Paul is taking on Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is much better than him in boxing, much more technical, much more powerful, much more bigger, fought more higher level guys. But Jake Paul, does he have a chance? Technically, anyone has a chance, you know, in theory. So his chance isn't 0% of winning, but his chance of winning in my opinion, is low. I spar with boxers before, and remember, I'm a cage fighter. I spar with boxers before, and amateur boxers, pro boxers, doesn't matter. These guys can punch, man. But this is happening in my hometown, Miami. They're fighting just a few miles from my house, you know. So this is gonna be it's a huge event. Miami, the whole Miami is, but it's a buzz down here, and you know What's up? What's up, Lone Lumbercan? Yes, yes, yes. Just getting ready for this fight down here in my hometown of Miami. Down the street, the fight is happening 10 minutes from my house. And let me tell you, man, it's you know everyone's been talking about it all week. But again, I just don't think Jake Paul has a chance. So the first fight already happened already. So now we have three more fights until Jake Paul fights Anthony Joshua. Okay, so right now this Netflix is showing a whole bunch of promos and stuff like that. But this is a very dangerous fight for Jake Paul. I keep saying this, but it's true. This fight is very dangerous for Jake Paul because he can really get hurt. He can really, really get hurt here. And I just hope that um, Anthony Joshua is gonna knock him down for sure. And is Jake Paul gonna stay down? That's the thing. You know, I don't think if Jake Paul doesn't get knocked out in the first knockdown, I think he'll get up. But I just think he's gonna, you know, he's playing with fire. I mean, this fight, in my opinion, this fight should not have this. In my opinion, this fight should not have been sanctioned because I just think it's too much of a mismatch. A mismatch. Jake Paul is a decent boxer per se. Is he elite? No. Anthony Joshua is definitely an elite boxer in a heavyweight class, way taller than Jake Paul, way bigger. And we are gonna wait. The whole world is gonna wait and see what happens in the ring. Can Jake Paul stun the world? If Jake Paul beats Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, this would be the biggest upset in combat sports history. That includes MMA, Muay Thai, kickboxing, and boxing and jiu-jitsu. Any type of taekwondo, karate. If Jake Paul beats Anthony Joshua, this would be the biggest upset in the combat sports history. Combat sports history, not just boxing, just combat sports. Right? Because we can lie to ourselves all we want. We can try to pretend this and that, but deep down inside, Jake Paul doesn't have a chance. Okay. Now, those who know boxing, those who really know boxing, even if you're not a boxing specialist, you know. So the next fight's coming up right now. We have Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva's fighting? Oh wow, I didn't even know he's fighting. Against Tyron Woodley. What the? Wait. Anderson Silva versus Tyron Woodley. I didn't know they were fighting tonight. I did not know this. Wow. I did not. Hey, this is a chat. I didn't know Anderson Silva was gonna be fighting at Tyron Woodley. Wow. That's okay. That's a treat. Anthony Silva and Anderson Silva is about to fight Tyron Woodley. Anderson is like what 40 something, 48 years old, 47. I'm not sure. Tyron Woodley is I think in the 40s also, but this is Tyron Woodley. Wow, chat. Did y'all know Tyron Woodley was gonna be fighting Anderson Silva? I didn't know that. Okay, so let's break down this fight right quick. So Tyron Woodley is coming out first. This fight, I mean, Anderson Silva should definitely win this fight. I don't say definitely, but Anderson Silva is way older. And y'all, don't forget to smash that like button for me. So Tyron Woodley is walking out right now. Wow. Anderson Silva. The last time we saw him is when he lost to Jake Paul, right? I think so. And now he's fighting Tyron Woodley. Wow, boys. This world is a crazy place, y'all. You agree with that, right? You agree that this world is a crazy place. I never thought I'd see Tyron Woodley versus Anderson Silva in a boxing match. Wow. But you know what? That's why we play the game, right? That's why we play the game. So yeah, right now, thanks for watching the Fight Companion with me. So this is the second fight of the night. Is between Anderson Silva and Tyron Woodley. Anderson Silva, how old is he, man? Is he 48, 49? Let's see. So yeah, y'all. I didn't know Anderson Silva was fighting Tyron Woodley tonight in boxing. So Silva's coming out. I mean, Silva's a legend. I trained with Silva before. I met him before many years ago. One of the nicest guys I ever met. Um, Silva's pretty big too. He's a pretty big guy. So yeah, I trained with him. I got pictures with him too. Um, yeah. So it's a nice guy. I trained with him after he fought Rich Franklin the first time. Like months later. Okay, so and what's funny is that when I used to fight, people say I look like him. And I actually do look. When I used to fight, I actually look like Anderson Silva, kind of like a mini version. So who do you think is gonna win this fight between 50-year-old Anderson Silva and 40-something years old Tyron Woodley? You know, as much as I love to compete, but I just don't think at a certain age, I don't think people should be fighting. I just don't think so. If you're 50 years or older, I don't think you should be fighting. It just if you get knocked out, your brain is more sensitive. I just don't think so. But who am I? Even though when I turned 50, I actually wanted to fight one last fight, but my girlfriend told me no. So yeah, y'all, it's about to happen right now. Tyron Woodley versus Anderson Silva. This fight I did not see coming at all. Obviously Anderson Silva has the better hands, just overall, stand-up skills. Tyron Woodley, at least in UFC, Tyron Woodley had a powerful punch. But anyway, man, check me out later, okay? I'm gonna say end this live, and actually before I do that, I wanna say something for a minute. So this fight's about to happen. Tyron Woodley, and what's crazy is that both Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva lost to Jake Paul. Tyron lost twice to Jake Paul. And at least, no hard feelings. Jake Paul put them on the card tonight. Look, one thing about Jake Paul may get, known as a Jake Paul may be known as a troll and stuff like that, but I think generally he has a good heart. And I think he really cares about fighters and fighters' pay and safety. I really think so. And he definitely pays women fighters a lot of money, boxers, which is awesome. So, love him or hate him, Jake Paul, I think heart is in the right place. Okay? So, y'all check me out later, okay? I'll see y'all later.